welcome, and I want to invite you to our new Lenten series called Forgiveness, a Journey from Hurt to Freedom. Now, why have I called it that, and why forgiveness? Well, because I think forgiveness is one of those subjects, much like prayer, that a lot of people have not learned how to do. I hear one of the most common things I hear is that no one ever taught me how to pray. And then one of the other things that people say to me, no one ever taught me how to forgive. And it's true. You think for most of us, we tend to do it on the job training sort of deal, right? It's just sort of, we learn it as we go. And that may work for many of us. And for most of us, it probably has not. And we need to learn how to forgive. And part of it is understanding the methodology and then understanding the practice of it, that we just simply got to do it. So here's what I want to invite you to do is come and join me on this journey to forgiveness, to freedom. I think part of the struggle that people have on forgiveness is that they don't understand it. They have misconceptions about what forgiveness is. For example, forgiveness, we often hear the phrase forgive and forget. Well, that's simply not true. We don't want to forget. In fact, it might not be healthy to forget. So understanding what forgiveness is not is part of it, and then what forgiveness is. Look, I think all of us have been hurt by somebody sometimes even we love, very close to us. And we have maybe some sort of resentment and some unforgiveness in our heart with those hurts. And to be honest, we have probably hurt other people. And we need to probably seek forgiveness is another one. But here's the part that's sad for me. I have spoken to, over the years, many people who have hurts from 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 years of that hurt and have remained unforgiving in all those years. And here's what's extraordinary is they sometimes don't remember what the original offense is, but I'm never going to speak to him ever again. Or she will never be in my life. And they can't name why, but they've still held on to the unforgiveness. So here's the metaphor I'd like to suggest what unforgiveness looks like. To kind of, from a point of view of trying to shatter what some of our misconceptions of forgiveness is like. Let's talk about what unforgiveness looks like. Imagine one of those old-time Western movies where the sheriff in the prison cell inside the sheriff's office. Can you imagine you going into the sheriff's office and there's that prison. You walk inside one of the gated bars, a cell, and you close the door behind you. And you reach out your hand and the key is on the O-ring and you turn the key and lock the gate. And then you take the key out and you throw that O-ring with the key on it into the sheriff's office where there is no sheriff. That's unforgiveness. We've locked ourselves in our own prison cell. And here's what's extraordinary, is that we think we've locked the other person up. And they're the one who's free. We're the one who's locked up, caught up in our own prison cell of our own making. So here's the interesting part, is even when we want to, we find it very hard to forgive. Why? Because we don't know how to do it. Where's the key? How do we get out? We can't even seem to help ourselves even if we want to. So as a person of faith, I believe Jesus comes to us, enables us, and forgives us, and wants us to have freedom. So he gives us the O-ring with the key. But here's the extraordinary thing of what Jesus does. He does not open up the gate for us. He gives us the key, and so we have to take the key, and then we have to take the key, open up the lock, and even if we open up the lock, we got to open up the door. And even when we open up the door, we got to step outside. And even when we step outside, we've got to stay outside. Those are all individual steps in the process of forgiveness. And it takes practice. And you can't do it in one go. It's not going to happen and stay out in one go. You got to keep on doing it until you prefer life outside the prison cell than inside the prison cell. So come join me on this journey from hurt to freedom. Forgiveness. On Tuesday nights, from 7 to 8 p.m. on YouTube or Facebook. And I ask you, because this is a particularly hard subject to talk about, and I don't have a live audience, I'm just talking to a camera, I need to have some feedback. So the evaluations are going to play a critical role afterwards so that I can get feedback. But then in particular on Wednesday nights, it's going to be like the Q&A of the Tuesday nights. So we'll have a question and answer session. And I'm hoping in that 24 hours that you'll have worked out some questions and you've got some questions on your heart. So it's on Zoom. It's all on the website. You're also posted on Facebook and on YouTube. Come join us. Forgiveness, a journey from hurt to freedom.